But guess what? You have the power to make changes, because the power that we need to do this is where? It's right here in our person, okay? You don't have to have a college degree, but you can serve on your school board, on your city council, and yes, and then you can run for the state assembly or the state senate, okay? Who's got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People's power.
The thing that I enjoyed the most was probably just being able to network and talk and learn from people that are like icons in public advocacy. Like Dolores Huerta was the first person that we were introduced to, and being able to just like, even though it was through Zoom, like just knowing that I was on the same call as her is so inspirational, because like you read about people like her all the time, but when you have the opportunity to talk to her and learn from her, you realize that she's a human being just like the rest of us, and we can all make change together if we learn how to organize and learn how to talk to decision makers and analyze policy and things like that. So it was just really motivating, and it made me more excited to learn about public policy.
So we'll just do our best. But I'm excited to talk with you this morning about developing collaboration. There are some challenges, and we'll talk about that as well. But there is a reason that we create collaboratives. And as you can see from this slide, there are at least 5 really important benefits that we gain individually and collectively when we create collaboratives.
I think decision making is a product of staying level-headed. I think it's a product of looking at not only the consequences, but also the unintended consequences of things, that when you decide to do something, that you're doing it for the right reasons, but you're also looking at what are the sort of second and third order consequences of it. Equality is what our Constitution requires. Equality is what our Constitution guarantees. Equality doesn't mean, though, equal things or equal outcomes. That is equity.
So how do I make political change? I think the first thing you have to ask yourself is, what are you looking to do? There are a lot of folks that are very focused on local policy. I think that there is no replacement or anything that compares to lived experience. And I think folks who have a lived experience that is the source of why they want to run for office or get involved in policy, we need you.
Well, thank you so much for providing just a tremendous opportunity for those in the community to take part in this Policy Leadership Academy. It really helps to provide a network for those of us that are the attendees, to just be able to connect and know who our fellow peers are, so that when we see each other at community events, we actually have an acknowledgement and just an understanding and a relationship that has actually been built as a result.
The topic today, communicating with not difficult, but challenging people. Who are those folks and how do we do that? Ooh, it can be something. I'm here to tell you, you know it and I know it. Excellent work, everyone. These challenging folks, challenging. Let's see who they are. We can start off angry, or they can start off angry, and then through, really smart facilitation, they can switch over and become more positive and more interesting into the conversation. So thank you for playing this out with us, Melvin.
Who is it that decides what is ethical, what is not ethical? The bottom line is that it's all of us, every single one of us. If you just join an organization, for instance, and you realize that they do not have an internal code of conduct, or set of ethical standards that align with the mission and goals of the organization. I would take a lot of time to develop that, to communicate that to all of your stakeholders.
I'm happy that I participated in this because that basically to me was stereotypic thinking. And I learned a lot. I learned that, all politicians are not stuffy and fake, and that it showed me different avenues and ways to, number one, start a conversation amongst people that I interact with, whether it's at work or in personal settings, regarding politics and strong issues that affect the world. Because that's really what I'm concerned about. I love people, and I'm always concerned about how can I try to impact the world in a positive way. So I can see now, after going through this Policy Leadership Academy, how actually your voice does have an impact. You just have to be strategic in how you get it heard.
Today, we're going to be talking about social justice, and I'm going to be more focused in terms of what community organizing and how values and narratives fit into that. When I meet folks who are like, how do we get folks to understand the issue, is to talk to somebody that is directly impacted, and not as a curiosity, but a little bit deeper than that, right? It's not just surface level. It's like going deeper in the iceberg. What's your story? And let them talk.
And those guiding principles are safety, trustworthiness and transparency, peer support and mutual self-help, collaboration, empowerment, voice and choice, and of course, a lens of cultural, historical, and gender issues. What we've often done is looked at behavior, and it's interesting because I think it's a really culturally American phenomenon of our need to punish us out of a certain behavior.
Equality and equity. Folks like to use this term interchangeably. They are not interchangeable. These are two different terms. Equality meaning the same, and quality, measure, or esteem, you're getting the same thing at the same time. Equity meaning fairness, justice. We're distinguishing from equality and saying we're meeting you where your starting place is. There is no such thing as a single issue struggle because we do not live single issue lives. So how are we moving these issues forward with some intersectional thought processes?
The timing was great. I'm in a new leadership position, so the ability to open my mind to different points of view. And I will say, every single week, I'm sure I've brought back one piece to my job, to my life. That was my goal, and I accomplished it. I got something, one piece of practical thing to apply every single week.
We are a team. We are not enemies of each other, but we have been elected, or we have come together as a group, as a board, whatever your position is for the community, or for people that have elected you, or people that have chosen you to speak for them. And you see people willing to put their energy, their time, their time, talent, and treasure. That's what I call it. If people are willing to put their time, talent, and treasure to help solve an issue with any elected official, many times those are the people that start to gain the favor of the officials.